Well, thanks very much, Brian. As Brian said, I'm Jim Saunderson. I'm co-chair of the Integrity Awards Committee and also president-elect of the Rotary Club of Edmonton. And thank you very much for joining us this evening for the 2021 Capital Region Rotary Integrity Awards. I'll introduce our MC for this evening, Leslie Mcdonald, more fully a little bit later when we begin the formalities around 6:30 and present the awards. But now, as many of you are enjoying a meal, I would like to introduce Major Al Heft of the Salvation Army, a member, as Brian said, of the Downtown Rotary Club, for an invocation for our event this evening. We'll just, Al?
Thanks, Jim. Let's just join together in prayer. Creator God, we gather this evening, and as we do so, may we always be grateful for the blessings that we receive from your gracious hand. But may we also be grateful for our challenges and the responsibilities that you have allowed us to carry. For it is these that push us to develop depth of character and a growing integration between what we say we believe and how we live our lives and conduct ourselves in our vocations. We're reminded of the words of Brené Brown: integrity is choosing courage over comfort, choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy, and choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them. As we come together this evening to recognize individuals who we see demonstrating this in their daily lives, may we also be inspired to choose courage, to do what is right, and to practice our values no matter what the cost. We pray your ongoing blessing on all of our recipients this evening, as well as all of the Rotary clubs in our area and all of the work that they do. May we all continue to act and work with integrity. Amen.
Well, thanks very much for that, Al. I think your words set the stage very nicely for this evening's event. So we're going to return you to your small group so that you can continue your conversations until 6:30 when we'll begin this evening's ceremony proper. For those of you who were not previously in a small group, if you'd like to join a group with the club that you're associated with, you should be able to find the link to click on that, or if not, send us a message in the chat feature, and our technicians will send you to the group of your choice. So we'll just let that happen and then resume the conversations. And I hope everybody has an opportunity to catch up in this virtual reception. Good evening, everyone. Bienvenue tout le monde. Tansi. I'm Jim Saunderson, co-chair of the Integrity Awards Committee and president-elect of the Rotary Club of Edmonton, the Downtown Club. It's been a real honor to co-chair this event with Club past president Neil Lang and the organizing committee for this year's Integrity Awards. You'll hear from my co-chair Neil towards the end of the evening. This is the first time that these awards have been held virtually, so please bear with us in the technology through this learning event. It's also the first time that Rotaract clubs, the Rotary clubs for younger folks, have taken part as full-fledged members of the Rotary family. This is an important step for Rotary, and I'd like to welcome the participating Rotaractors this evening as well. Each of our Integrity Award recipients is a non-Rotarian, selected by a participating Edmonton area Rotary or Rotaract club. We recognize and honor the recipients for living their lives aligned with Rotary values of service above self and in a manner consistent with our four-way test. This is the 17th version of these awards. However, it is hardly the first time that peoples have gathered here in the Edmonton area to meet new people and celebrate. First Nations people have been gathering here for thousands of years to gather food, perform ceremony, and to feast and trade. We begin this evening by respectfully acknowledging that we are meeting today on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional gathering place for diverse Indigenous peoples, including the Cree, Blackfoot, Nakota Sioux, Iroquois, Dene, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Anishinaabe, Inuit, and the Métis people. As you will see from today's honorees, we are truly blessed to share this land with a wide diversity of peoples from all over the globe. I'll now ask Sheldon to play our national anthem, O Canada. It's now my honor to introduce my friend, the president of the Rotary Club of Edmonton, Brian Edwards. Brian?
Thank you, Jim and Neil, as the pleasure has really been mine working with you this past year to put together these Integrity Awards. It has, like many matters over the past 12 months, been a little bit of a roller coaster ride. But our Rotary Club is very proud to be organizing this event. We are in year 2 of a 3-year cycle. Yet it is really in these uncertain times that Rotary, Rotarians, and Rotary values shine their best. Rotary has been an active member of this community for over 105 years, and it is because of the work of Rotarians like those present this evening that we are the community that we are, and we look forward to many more years of service. This is really one of my favorite events of the Rotary year, as we pause to recognize and celebrate those in our community who exemplify service above self. The Rotary 4-way test, of which Jim mentioned, which Rotarians will know, but I will say for the non-Rotarians present, is the mirror that we use. It is, of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? These values are needed all the more in these trying times. I encourage all, Rotarian and non-Rotarian alike, to reflect and be inspired by those present, whose work is to build a stronger, safer, healthier, and more caring community. We celebrate and we thank. I now have the pleasure of introducing Jim Ferguson, District Governor of District 5370, of which we are part. This district is one of the largest geographic districts within Rotary, covering not only Edmonton, but Northern Alberta, Northeastern BC, the Yukon, and the Northwest Territories. Jim, thank you. If you could play Jim.
Thank you, Brian, and also my personal thanks to Jim and Neil, and the members of the Rotary Club of Edmonton for organizing this year's event. So what is integrity? Integrity is the foundation of trust and confidence, and it involves honesty, moral, and ethical principles. The person who has a high degree of integrity is more trustworthy and reliable. They're a person whose actions are always consistent with their words, and you can depend on them at all times. If they make a mistake, they admit the error openly and don't try to hide it. They're people you can always count on and are the cornerstones of our society. It is not a trait that people will forget. They will always be remembered fondly for it. In Rotary, we all strive to act with high ethical standards in our personal and professional lives, and we recognize the worthiness of all useful occupations as we look for opportunities to serve society.
We've been here before, fighting the problems that fight back, but we can shift the status quo because we see opportunities where others see obstacles. We're change makers and problem solvers, uniting over 1 million minds to address complex issues facing communities around the world, including yours. With passion and purpose, we've led the efforts to put an end to polio. Now eradication isn't just possible, it's plausible. Every day we're investing in a new generation of leaders so we can continue to provide access to clean water, tackle global health concerns, support education, and build the foundations of peace across borders. We're working together as partners and professionals while making friendships that last a lifetime. We're Rotary, and there's no limit to what we can do.
On behalf of District 5370, which consists of approximately 100 clubs and 2,000 Rotarians, welcome to tonight's celebration of the unsung heroes that are working hard to make their local communities and the world a better place.
Thank you, President Brian, and thank you, District Governor Jim. I think your remarks really set the stage for this evening's Integrity Awards in the context of Rotary's broader mandate to serve our community and the world. I can now say that I'm really excited to introduce our MC for the evening. Leslie Mcdonald is a member of the Downtown Edmonton Rotary Club and an experienced broadcaster. She's an accomplished storyteller and the founder and producer of Global TV's Women of Vision series. Leslie has emceed every one of the Rotary Integrity Awards since their inception, this being her 17th annual event. So you are in good hands from here on in. Over to you, Leslie.
Hey, thank you so much, Jim. And welcome everyone to this fabulous evening. And as we heard earlier, it is definitely one of my favorite events, certainly for Rotary, but also one of my favorite events, period, throughout the year. And I just want to thank you for joining us here this evening. I hope you have had a chance to get a bite to eat and maybe have a glass of water or a drink with you. As President Brian mentioned, tonight's awards recipients are selected for their integrity and their service above self. And I am so very proud to be part of an organization that embodies these values. Every year at these awards, I'm inspired by the depth and by the diversity of the people we recognized and what they do for our community. Now, this may be the 17th annual Integrity Awards, but as you've heard, it is the first time that we've held this virtually. So here are a few ground rules that hopefully we can all follow to make sure that this is going to be a great evening for all. Unless you are speaking, please put your microphone on mute, so that we don't get that background noise distraction or any kind of feedback. But please leave your camera on, and I see that most of you have, because there's a really great audience and a great feel in this room at Infinity Event Services, because we can all see your faces on the monitors. I wish you could see what we're seeing. Maybe I'll do a selfie a little later. But it's also really nice for the award recipients to talk to real faces as well. In fact, if you leave your camera on, we can borrow a trick from the deaf community called silent applause. And it's called just raise your hands in the air or wiggle your fingers like this. And we'll do that in place of applause. And speaking of recipients, I'm going to be introducing you one at a time. And after I introduce you, we're going to invite you to make a few remarks. So please remember, recipients, to make sure that not only is your camera on, but also that your microphone is on during the introduction, so that when it comes time for you to speak, you're actually ready. When a recipient finishes their remarks, everyone, please feel free to join us, as we mentioned, in a virtual clap, wriggle your fingers, or you can also use the clap icon on Zoom. And after that acknowledgement, we ask that recipients please now remute your microphone as I introduce the next recipient, and so on. This is a very diverse and outstanding group of people who each have made significant contributions to our community. In the interest of time, I have shortened their bios in the introduction, and so I encourage you to read their full bios in the program. It's a brochure. You would have received an electronic copy of this if you pre-registered. And if you didn't pre-register or you don't have a copy, please in the chat, put in your name and email and we'll send one to you so that you can follow along. We recognize 16 outstanding Albertans this evening who live by Rotary's values and its motto of service above self. Our first recipient has been hailed throughout Alberta as a hero during this pandemic. I think you all know who I'm talking about. But Dr. Dina Hinshaw accepts this award on behalf of her team, the Alberta Health Emergency Operations Centre. She and her team are being recognized by the Rotary Club of Edmonton West. In her role as government advisor, Dr. Hinshaw makes recommendations to assist elected officials with decisions for the public safety of all Albertans. She is also the spokesperson of Alberta Health, an emergency operations centre established in March of last year to support the Ministry of Health's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. With her quiet, steady delivery, she reassures the public with explanations and reasons for the necessary restrictions. She reminds us that we are all together in this. Don't let the virus divide us. One journalist described her as more than a medical officer, more than a doctor. She is Alberta's healer. Dr. Hinshaw was reluctant to receive recognition for herself. In her own words, while I'm the public spokesperson for my team working with a COVID-19 response, I could not do what has to be done alone without all of them this year. I don't feel I can put myself above the team by being nominated for an individual award. She agreed to accept this nomination on behalf of her whole team. So on behalf of the Rotary Club of Edmonton West and of all Rotarians, congratulations and a huge thank you, Dr. Hinshaw and Alberta Health Emergency Operations Centre. Dr. Hinshaw, if you'd say a few words, we'd love to hear from you.
Sure, thank you so much. I first of all, thank you for the tremendous honor of this award, which, as mentioned, I'm accepting on behalf of the entire team. And I think we have some pictures of the team that you can see the tremendous men and women with whom I work. And I just want to acknowledge the dedication and selflessness and passion that they have shown over the last year, working weekends, working evenings, working tirelessly throughout this pandemic in service of Albertans. I want to acknowledge and say thank you to to Rotary for this award. I'm humbled. I know some of the other recipients and want to congratulate all of them for the tremendous work that they have done. And also to say thank you for the delicious meal tonight that my children in particular were extremely excited about. So thank you very much. Just, I guess in closing, I know that time is short, but want to say that for me, what's been really important over this last year is making sure that every day I'm grounding myself in that fact that we truly are all in this together, and that the importance of listening to each other, being respectful to each other, and working to bridge divides, especially when there's differences of opinion about the pandemic or how things should be managed. We are stronger together, and I guess I would just want to leave this group with that gratitude that through Rotary and through the values that were mentioned earlier, this is part of what will get us through this, is reaching across divides, building bridges, and being respectful one person to another as we move into what I truly believe will be a better future in just a few months as the vaccine brings us to the other side of the most intense phase of the pandemic. So thank you again for this acknowledgement. And again, my congratulations to all of the award recipients tonight.
And congratulations as well. Our second recipient, nominated by the Rotary Club of White Avenue, is Margot Long. As President and CEO of Youth Empowerment and Support Services, otherwise known as YES, Margot is a passionate compassion for traumatized youth in Edmonton. YES provides shelter, supportive housing, and individualized supports for youth aged 14 through 24 who are dealing with addictions, mental illness, violence, victimization, and criminal involvement. Margot brings insight and experience to the role. She was a partner at Insight Marketing, where she provided strategic oversight for Alberta business and not-for-profit organizations, including YES, taking the helm of one of her beloved community agencies in 2017. She loves looking at the big picture as well as improving the details. On behalf of the Rotary Club of White Avenue, congratulations, Margot. I invite you to now say a few words.
Thank you so much, Leslie. It's an honor to be here. And I thank everybody for just for coming together and celebrating all of the incredible people today. I think the message carrying on from Dr. Hinshaw is we are better together. One of the things that I've been I've learned this year, and has actually kept me afloat, is the collaboration that's happened between agencies, between, people that didn't always collaborate before, were worried about it. I've seen people put their guard down, become more vulnerable and transparent, and really roll up their sleeves to get something really important done. And it's incredible. So I'm honored to be in this incredible list of individuals, and I thank Rotary White Avenue for the nomination. And I look forward to collaborating with a lot more people next year as we head into what's hopefully the end of our pandemic. So thanks very much, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks very much, Margot, and congratulations. Our third recipient is selected by the Rotary Club of Sherwood Park. John Ashton has led a life of service to his community, to Alberta, and to Canada, with a legacy of achievements. While practicing as a lawyer, John became involved in politics in the 60s and 70s. He served on the Catholic School Board and then as MLA for 2 terms. He was also active in his community as a past member of the Rotary Club of Sherwood Park, District Chamber of Commerce, volunteering as a Cub and a Scout leader and Little League umpire, just to name a few. Since retiring from law, John has dedicated his life to community involvement, spearheading initiatives to bring public art and heritage recognition to Sherwood Park, including as founder and president of the Heritage Mile Society. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Sherwood Park, we are pleased to recognize as father of 6 and grandfather of 9, John Ashton. John, the virtual stage is yours.
Oh, thank you, Leslie. I am 86 years old, and I've had a lot of time to do many things. And one of those things, as you mentioned, was Sherwood Park's Heritage Mile. And I will spend my minute or two to talk about that one and end with lessons learned. In the late 1990s, while researching local heritage, Ann and I, Ann is my wife of 64 years, discovered that in all of Sherwood Park, there were only 4 structures of heritage interest predating the 1955 founding of Sherwood Park. Much to our surprise and delight, all 4 were on a 1-mile stretch of one street. Guess what? We called it Heritage Mile. 15 years later, the mile had 30 heritage sculptures and monuments from huge to small, with over 110 plaques in place and 94 elm trees planted. Unveilings were by a prime minister, 2 premiers, a lieutenant governor, senior militaries, several cabinet ministers, MLAs, MPs, mayors, county staff, councillors, and innumerable local citizens of local renown. Parades and heritage dress were called, and this is what we had. And we always had a gala reception afterwards. Our goal to inform and to highlight our local heritage was well received, with fun and frolic and educational experience had by all. Rotary was a significant contributor. Lesson learned. One thing I learned over and over again, and that is, be an organizer and ask people to volunteer, and you will be amazed at how many will say yes. Rotary is recognized in our community as the most successful of all service clubs. I am so proud that it was Sherwood Park Rotary to select me for this award. So thank you. Thank you.
Boy, thanks so much for that message, John. Get her done is an adage synonymous with our next recipient, selected by the Rotary Club of Nisku-Leduc. As a businessman, Clarence Shield is the founder of Shield Co. Group of Companies, which owns and operates several businesses, among them the Airways County Inn, the Airport Parking, Blackjack's Roadhouse, and Nisku Designs, among others. In his own time, he's given his time and support to many community service projects. He founded the Tree of Hope Charitable Society and the Leduc Gaming Operators Association, together raising and donating over $1 million to local service groups and charities. Among the many events that he supports, he is most proud of the Shields family annual free Christmas dinner, serving a dinner to over 600 people. His family's been doing that for 44 years. His wife Ingrid is also very involved in the local arts community. Clarence was an initial charter member of that club that now honors him. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Nisku-Leduc, congratulations, Clarence Shields. The virtual mic and camera are now yours.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the Leduc and District Rotary Club for this incredible honor. Most of them members have been friends of mine for 30 odd years. I wish I could take credit for all the things that I've been able to accomplish over a lifetime, but it really stems back to my mentor. And my mentor was my father, Jack Shields, who was an incredible individual that was born on Christmas Day. And my fondest memories of him were the things that he had us do to support the community. He was the founding charter member of the Fort McMurray Rotary Club in the early 70s, president of that club. And my fondest memory was Christmas Day when he was born. He would load me up and dress me up as an elf, and we'd hop in his plane, loaded up with presents, and we'd fly into Indigenous communities like Janvier and deliver presents Christmas morning. Incredible character builder for me. We were very lucky to be successful in Fort McMurray. And he made it very clear. He said, son, and it wasn't just me, it was myself and my two brothers. He said, boys, just remember, it's not what you take out of a community that really matters. It's what you give back. And the tradition of Christmas dinner started because we owned a restaurant in Fort McMurray. We had quite a few of them. But you can imagine Fort McMurray in the early days, there was no place to go to eat on Christmas Day. It all shut down. So he would open up on Christmas Day, and his motto was, no one should be alone at Christmas. And it's a tradition we've carried on for, as you say, 44 odd years. And it really has made a difference in my life in contributing back. And the rewards that I've gained and my family have gained has been incredible. And the Rotary and my involvement with supporting that club over so many years has been a game changer in my life, in that I've really recognized the worth of giving back to your community. And for all of you out there, and I see the list of inductees and the people that have won the award this year and the years in the past, and what incredible mentors you will be to a future generation of people that contribute back to their communities. So to all of you, thank you, and especially to my friends in the Rotary Club in Nisku and Leduc. I'm truly honored. Thank you.
What a fantastic message. Thank you so much, Clarence. It just reminds me of that saying, when you give, you get back tenfold, and it has real meaning, and it's definitely one of the reasons why I have always cherished Rotary. Our next recipient is nominated by the Rotary Club of Urban Spirits. Miko Uchi is an actor, writer, director, and filmmaker who understands the power of theater to engage young people, and her works carry powerful messages for youth to show them the potential consequences of their choices and to leave them with a clear understanding of complex issues. Miko has written and directed productions tackling issues like sexual consent and bullying. She's collaborated with Alberta Health Services, Addiction Services, the Centre for Race and Scent and Culture, and the Sexual Assault Centre of Edmonton, just to name a few. And her productions have toured at elementary and junior high schools around Alberta. In addition, her commitment to supporting emerging playwrights has seen scores of new plays written for young people by Albertans from diverse perspectives. The Rotary Club of Edmonton Urban Spirits is pleased to honor Miko Uchi as a deserving recipient of their Rotary Integrity Award. Congratulations, Miko.
Thank you so much. I want to send out a huge congratulations to all the other recipients of the awards tonight. It was a great honor to be honored with you this evening. And a huge thank to all the Rotary and Rotaract clubs of the Edmonton Capital Region for putting on this great event. I know it's challenging during the pandemic to do these events digitally, and I really appreciate the effort you all put in. My biggest thanks is really to the Rotary Club of Edmonton Urban Spirits for honoring me and for Concrete Theatre for nominating me, because I really feel so grateful for all the amazing work that Rotary clubs do around the world in supporting their communities. My company came to Urban Spirits when we had a school that was really struggling to pay for some anti-bullying program we were doing to be able to pay for us to come into the school. And Urban Spirits helped support 5 performances of that show in their school, reaching over 500 elementary school children. And it made a really big difference. And that kind of difference, you know, adds up throughout the year and throughout the years through all these different organizations. So I started my work with Concrete Theatre when I was 19, when I helped co-found the company, and I really did grow up alongside the company, learning all the lessons that the company did as we endeavored to do this new and sort of groundbreaking work, educational work for children. I feel so grateful for all the relationships that I've built with artists, but also with community. And I've made a lot of amazing friends and colleagues in this city that I'm so grateful for. Mm-hmm. The work was not always glamorous. There were a lot of ice cold mornings in school gyms. I won't lie, but the rewards of being able to reach those kids were profound. This last November, after 31 years, I stepped down from my leadership role at Concrete to take on a new role at the Citadel. But you can never really leave that work behind. It's always there with you. You're kind of a lifer. Maybe it's like Rotary. You always have a foot in that world. So I just want to thank you for that. I will continue my work advocating for children and youth. And this award really buoys up my spirits in that respect. So thank you.
Hey, thank you for the work that you do, Miko. Well, the Rotary Club of Edmonton has nominated our next recipient, Cecilia Blissetti. Many of you know her from her 20 years at the helm of the Boyle-McCauley Health Centre until her retirement last year. During this time, she and her staff have shared a passion for ensuring that the most marginalized members of the community receive accessible, high-quality health care. Under her leadership, Boyle-McCauley has enhanced and expanded programs like off-site health and dental clinics, 2 housing programs, supervised consumption services, and a mobile health clinic. Since the beginning of the COVID crisis, Boyle-McCauley has partnered with AHS and the Government of Alberta to operate the Edmonton Isolation Facility so that homeless, vulnerable Edmontonians can quarantine and isolate safely. Under Cecilia's leadership, the Boyle-McCauley Health Centre has become a well-regarded innovator in inner-city healthcare and a teaching site for medical students and residents from across Canada. Last year, the centre was named Outstanding Family Practice by the Alberta College of Family Physicians. For her 36-year career and commitments to social justice, the Rotary Club of Edmonton Downtown is pleased to recognize Cecilia Blissetti for exemplifying the Rotary motto of service above self. Congratulations, Cecilia.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm so humbled and gratified to be here and be recognized by Rotarians whose work I so greatly admire, and to be part of this group of amazing people who also are being recognized tonight. Even at the ripe old age of 67, when I first heard about this award, one of the first things that came to mind was that my mother would be proud of me. I was very fortunate to have her in my life as a role model, and then more recently as that voice in my head that keeps me on the right track, on the straight and narrow. And I just have been gifted by her passion for social justice and looking out for the underdog. And it stays with me and guides me. And of course, when I listen to that voice, her voice in my head, I always do better. The other great gift that I had in my life was stumbling on at early and finding work that I found inspiring and fulfilling. And so, as Leslie said, I've been working in inner city agencies for 36 years in Calgary and Edmonton. And I've had the great privilege of sharing that work with exceptional colleagues and clients whose lives were filled with unimaginable challenges, but also triumphs. So given the significant amount of time that we all spend at our jobs and how hard we work, it really is fortunate if you're lucky like me and somehow land in a place that helps make us happy and hopefully, in some ways, better people. I'm now as a new retiree looking forward to kind of the next stage of my life, and I look forward to finding things, opportunities, and there's no end to volunteer work, I know, to be able to do satisfying and life affirming kinds of things. I guess I really do want to say, in these strange times right now, we seem to have an overabundance of negativity and fear, and so to spend an evening that's dedicated to talking about honorable and positive endeavors is really a treat. And as I said before, I do have a huge respect for the goals and the values and the work of Rotary clubs. And so it really has, it's lovely to be part of all of you and this group tonight. Thank you again so much. I very much appreciate this award.
Thank you, Cecilia, and come join us. We can put you to work. Our next recipient was chosen by the Rotary Club of Edmonton Northeast as someone who has lived Rotary values throughout her life. Kathy Hamlin spent her childhood in several foster homes in her hometown of Peace River, experiencing things, she says, I'm going to wait till that goes. In foster homes in Peace River, experiencing things, she says, no child should ever have to endure. She became a lifelong advocate for Indigenous families, healing community building, and ensuring people get the medicine they need no matter what. Kathy is one of the co-founders of the 60 Scoop Indigenous Society of Alberta, and a member of a society of Indigenous grandmothers in Edmonton, whose goal is to reclaim the traditional ways of the past by promoting a life of harmony and balance. Kathy is a traditional Cree language teacher and peace builder. She sees resiliency as something to be proud of, although she'd rather have lived a life that didn't require quite so much of it. The Rotary Club of Edmonton Northeast is proud to name Kathy Hamlin its 2021 Integrity Award recipient. Congratulations, Kathy.
I just have to smudge real quick. I can never do anything without honoring my grandfathers and grandmothers and all my ancestors. I'm a Cree woman from the north. I have lived in the city of Edmonton since 1973, but that northern Cree woman in me has never left. I'm grateful to all of you that you think so highly of me, that you would honor me with this award. And I especially want to thank Shelley and Amanda. who nominated me. I have this whole speech written out, but you know what? I'm an squeal. I speak from the heart. We're not much for writing words down. I will if I have to. And I just want to thank everyone here. I just want to say that one of the integral teachings my grandparents had instilled in me is to go where the people are. Always be prepared to step up when the people ask you and call for you. That's not to say I show up and elbow my way through and, just be respectful and mindful. And I know you have 2 or 3 minutes to speak. However, Muniawa, the settler people need to understand this. As Indigenous people and other people from all over the world, we sometimes take our time in what we say because we measure our words. Not only are we speaking from the intellect and the heart, but also from the spirit. So we pause and try to listen to what our spirit wants us to say. So thank you very much. I just want to close with this. My elder, Elsie Paul, has been my elder for 30-some years. A couple of summers ago, she told me she wanted to pass her grandmother role on to take over for her when she retires. And I said to her, Elsie, so those are pretty big moccasins to fill. I don't know how, if I would be able to honor you. And then she said, never mind my moccasins. She said, bring your own. You have your own trails to blaze. And this, receiving this award and being a recipient of this award is one of those trails that I'm blazing for my daughter, my grandchildren, and all those who will follow. That's a buffalo yell.
My heart. Thank you so much, Kathy. Our next recipient, also through the Rotary Club of Edmonton Northeast, is known as the Book Lady at Sportscentral. That's because she is committed to helping every child develop a love for books, and community work is in her DNA. Germaine Chow started her volunteer work at Sportscentral 10 years ago. It's a Northeast charity where children are outfitted with free sports equipment and invited to select 3 books. Germaine headed up the book sorting project and has to date personally donated over 10,000 books. She also makes countless phone calls to fundraise to add to her growing network of group resources. And she's always recruiting volunteers. And with her data analysis background, has worked countless hours with her team to shape the organization's client records and equipment tracking system. Germaine is also a longtime 630 CHED Santa's Anonymous ambassador, and she's helped the Rotary Club of Edmonton Northeast provide volumes and volumes of books to Abbott and Montrose schools. The Rotary Club of Edmonton Northeast thanks Germaine with this award for her selfless service to kids and community. Congratulations, Germaine Chow.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored and humbled to be in the same group of recipients of some of the movers and shakers in Alberta. I feel really, really humble that what I'm doing is pursuing a passion of children's books and doing things I love to do. And then I feel like I'm gaining more from doing this than the recipient of those books. Many years ago, when my daughter was born, I spent a lot of time finding books for her. And this kind of started my love of books. And through the last 20 some years, I have given out books to many classrooms within the ABC Head Start Society. I was on their board for 1 year. And also Sportscentral happens to have an empty bookcase at the front door. And I suggested, I have lots of books that I bought. Can I put some for the kids so that they would have a chance to take them home? And it turns out to be a very positive feature. I was told by the executive director that kids actually come in and ask for books, and which I'm really happy to hear that. And the second thing, I would like to thank Sportscentral for giving me this opportunity. And then the second biggest things that I've been working with is Santa Anonymous. I've been volunteering over 25 years, almost close to 30 years. And ever since they got the permanent site at the Jerry Fox Center, I kind of initiated something with the executive director, and then we start organizing all the books, and with the goal of making sure that every single kids who are receiving a toy at Christmas will also get a book. And so my little project now have grown a little bit, and my house is totally overtaken by books everywhere. So I now can't even invite people to come in. Yeah. And I thank you for giving me this award, and I never expected it. And it gave me more pleasure and happiness than kids that are getting the book. But I do hope that they appreciate it, because I've seen it firsthand that books really help them with the education and also learning about life lessons. Thank you.
Thank you, Jermaine. What a great story. Our next recipient is from the Rotary Club of Edmonton, Glenora. Bernie Travis is the founder of the Early Onset Dementia Alberta Foundation. She was inspired to do this in 2011 while caring for her ailing husband and going through the frustrations of dealing with the limited capacity and services of the healthcare system. The foundation is now known across Canada, providing support, direction, resources, and assistance for those experiencing early onset dementia, their families, care partners, and health professionals. Among its many services, the foundation hosts an annual conference for hundreds of healthcare professionals, stages webinars, and puts on monthly newsletters. All of the work that Bernie and her foundation members do is entirely volunteer. And with the rapidly growing numbers of people in Alberta developing dementia, so too is the growing demand. And even though her husband has now passed away, Bonnie continues her work with relentless focus and determination to enhance the worldview of persons living with dementia, their families, and their partners. Their care partners, rather. For her service above self, the Rotary Club of Edmonton Glenora is pleased to acknowledge Bernie Travis with this year's Integrity Award. Bernie? Oh, I guess Bernie is not in the Zoom. I'm not sure if that'll be something that we'll see a little bit later, but unfortunately, we're going to really miss you, Bernie. I really wanted to hear your story. So our next recipient consistently goes above and beyond the call of duty as a 20-year veteran with the Rcmp. Deanna Hagan is this year's recipient selected by the Rotary Club of Edmonton Sunrise. In 2005, Deanna Hagan was diagnosed with PTSD, and shortly thereafter, she suffered a duty-related brain injury that challenged her to the core. She overcame the pitfalls, the setbacks, stigma, shame, and the tough credo of the Rcmp to find her authentic why and thrive once again. The RCMP officer now shares her story to support and empower others. She's also served on the Alberta Mental Health Stakeholders Committee, the Canadian Institute Health Research Peer Review Panel, participated in research on the effects of PTSD in pediatrics after the Fort McMurray fires, and many, many other things. And while volunteering at the Ronald Mcdonald House Charities, Deanna realized that while children's files and treatment plans are now electronic, many families don't have the funds to buy those electronics to access their sick children's files. So she founded I Care for Kids, a nonprofit that has given hundreds of iPads and tablets to support children and their families during difficult times. Deanna has been awarded the Canadian Medal of Bravery and the RCMP Commissioner's Commendation. For her clearly demonstrated service above self, the Rotary Club of Edmonton Sunrise honors Deanna with their Integrity Award. Congratulations, Deanna.
Thank you so much, Ms. McDonald, for that amazing introduction. I have to say thank you to Terry Demers and the Sunrise Rotary Club of Edmonton for nominating me with this honor. I was completely shocked when I received a phone call that I was being awarded this distinct honor. I have to thank the organizing committee for putting this together and pivoting during these challenging times of COVID. You've created an amazing space to honor the recipients and so that we could celebrate together in fellowship, and I'm truly grateful for that. I want to share this award and sincerely thank my family, especially Greg, my spouse, Ashley, my stepdaughter, all my friends, and my I Care for Kids team, and my colleagues who have all supported me on my journey. I was truly humbled and reading all these bios and hearing them once again of all the worthy recipients that have put service above self to positively impact your communities. It's just such an inspiration, and I'm really, truly humbled to be here amongst so many heroes. I was invited to speak at the Rotary Club about a year ago, and in my presentation, it was titled about finding your authentic why. And I love my career as an RCMP officer. And I love my I Care for Kids program and all of my team that supports me with that. But that's what I do. Serving my community and serving others is why I do it. Having that why is so important. And I challenge you, when you meet people, we tend to label ourselves with our careers and what we do. And I challenge you to ask them, rather than say, what is it you do? Ask them, what is your passion? You'll be surprised in what kind of responses you get. And it was this passion that I had that allowed me to overcome many odds and challenges and look for opportunities and how to utilize my experience, good and bad experiences, to make a positive impact. Now, if you'll just take a little journey with me for a moment, I invite you to close your eyes just for a moment. I want you to picture a dandelion. Now, do you picture an obnoxious weed that you try to eradicate from your lawn all summer long? Or do you picture a flower? I see a beautiful flower. And it's a flower that symbolizes courage, hope, and inner strength. I have very fond childhood memories of sitting on my front lawn and making a wish and blowing the seeds into the wind, which they've done for hundreds of years, hoping that my dreams would all come true. And as you notice, when you're watching these seeds blow into the wind, they don't go in a straight line before they replant and before they regrow. It's like our journeys here on Earth. It's not linear. We're all faced with challenges, but this is how we grow, and this is how we learn. And we can choose to embrace this experience, creating opportunities to make things better for others. And I recognize all the Rotarians that make a difference for others also, nationally, locally, internationally. But really, in my opinion, these little kiddos and these families that the I Care for Kids program supports, they truly are the unsung heroes. They feel isolated, hypervigilant with staying healthy because most are autoimmune compromised while they're on their medical journey. They're in financial strain. And in some cases, they have limited access to technology. Actually, this is how many of us in the general population feel right now during a pandemic. But yet, these families have been feeling this while they're on their medical journey, getting life-saving treatment for their little ones. Yet, they face these challenges with courage, with hope, and incredible inner strength. This is why I chose the dandelion as the logo for I Care for Kids. And in closing, I leave you with this. When you're faced with your next challenge, pause for a moment and ask yourself, do you see an obnoxious weed or do you see a beautiful flower? Thank you again for this distinct honor. I'm truly, truly humbled.
Oh, you are speaking my language. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Earlier, just before this, I did an introduction to Bernie Travis. She's the recipient for Edmonton Glenora, and she's done so much work for people who have Alzheimer's, dementia, for the families who are caring for them and dealing with loved ones. And now we have her back online. Technology is working after all. Really great to have you, Bernie, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Leslie. This has been amazing. Technology is always getting tested, especially when I'm in the audience or anywhere around it. It gets tested. So here I am. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much to the Rotary Club and especially the Rotary Club of Edmonton Glenora. It's such an honor, and it is from my heart to yours to say thank you in every dimension. That thank you could absolutely touch each and everyone's heart here today. And those that have been part of our dementia changing journey, it's just been incredible. Wonderful people who have come together to step forward and talk about dementia very openly from their hearts, share from their hearts, and make a difference for everybody around them. So not only in the community and in continuing care, but also for their own families. And playing it forward is most important so that we never have to go through the learning curve again as we have been. To be able to do that and to ensure that, EODF has developed to become a very strong connection in building bridges in between the silos and bringing everyone together at our conferences. Our conference is open. We have the medical groups, we have government, we have people from across Canada, and we bring people in internationally to be part of our conferences. And it is humbling in every way to see the wonderful people that come and speak, the persons with dementia, such as Rcmp, the care partners who share their journeys, the medical staff who share their struggles and wanting of change and how are we going to learn and know more, the research teams that come and learn more as our conference is open to ask the questions that we normally wouldn't be able to ask or talk about. So I encourage everyone to live in their community. Look at life as we are all born equal. We're guaranteed one thing at birth, and that is change. Every one of us will change. That is the guarantee of living. How we do it, how we accept change is up to us. What I've learned from dementia is that it's taught me to look for the ability. Where is the strength of that person? The person with dementia has been able to reach beyond any internal strength to become a beautiful person, to be able to contribute in ways that are amazing. They can communicate effectively in different ways than we normally do. They can help each other. And most of all, they are the heroes. They are teaching us that we can live a beautiful life with dementia. So I'd like to say thank you again to the amazing Rotary Club for recognizing myself, but it isn't just myself. It is EOTF, our directors, and the community, the country, and internationally, the people that come together to make a difference for dementia. Thank you. And again, from my heart to yours.
And from my heart to yours. Thank you so much, Bernie. I think we've all been touched by dementia and really recognize how important it is, the work that you do. Our next recipient from the Rotary Club of St. Albert is a leader who, in his own words, loves to serve. John Liston's community contributions began when his children were young, volunteering as a coach in hockey, baseball, soccer, and ringette. He was his school parent council president, served on the board of the Caritas Health Group, and chaired a Catholic Social Services Sign of Hope campaign. He has volunteered on the finance committee of Holy Family Parish in St. Albert, served as a board chair of the Sportscentral Association, founded St. Albert's 100 Men Who Care, raising $380,000 for 18 different charities. During the pandemic, the organization has raised over $140,000 for the St. Albert Food Bank and another $50,000 for the St. Albert Crisis Fund. In recognition of his service above self, the Rotary Club of St. Albert is pleased to honor John Liston with this year's Integrity Award. Congratulations, John.
Thanks, Leslie. Appreciate it. and thank you to Brian Edwards and Jim Saunderson and Neil Lang for putting this event on. This is so hard to do with this COVID world. And probably most thankfully, thanks for not having Dina Hinshaw right before me. She saved millions of lives, and I got 100 guys together to drink beer and write some checks to charities. So I'm glad I wasn't following directly behind her. There are 1.5 million Rotarians worldwide, and they are in service every day. And then there's these 15 clubs in our area that are participating in these awards. And the particular club that nominated me, St. Albert, with their president, Mark Dixon, James Gazolius, Robert Gallant, and some personal friends, that John and Terry Farlinger, who helped provide some information and told lies about me. John received this award in 2009. But thank you all for submitting my name, and thank you to all the recipients. This is quite a humbling award. I'm sure everybody feels a little bit the same way when they get that phone call. But it's great to celebrate, everybody's integrity and contributions to our community. When I was 6, my parents started up a little thing called the Miles for Millions Walk in Edmonton. They got together with a guy named Grant McEwen. Oh. And I, at 6 years old, walked 25 miles to raise money for Oxfam. And I think that was my first introduction to, to he who much is given, much is expected. You have some responsibility to the community. And so my parents lived that, taught me that, and I'm the youngest of 6 kids who were raised in that culture. As I read through the incredible write-ups of everybody, as we've listened to so far, and we'll see more coming up, two things struck me. One of them is, what the hell am I doing in this group? And then the second one is, as you read through, there's about 96 different charities or groups or causes mentioned in the write-ups, which is just incredible, the number of things that are going on amongst the 16 people who are being honored today. And then you add that to the 1.5 million Rotarians, and just think of the amount of service that's going on every day, all the time. It's just incredible. And then we haven't even touched on, those who go unnoticed. And there's so many different service projects. My lovely bride of 37 years, Allison, she works at the food bank here in St. Albert. She organizes a group of quilters who've donated over 100 quilts to the Jesse's House for the Jessica Martell Foundation to help out people who are there. And then she basically gets committed to everything that I get involved in. And we've got thousands of people doing incredible work. One of the things that strikes me is why this integrity celebration is only one day. We listen to the news every day and we hear about all the horrible things that are going on. And what we should be doing is seeing the news covering these things that are going on from, again, what we've heard today from all sorts of people, whether it's providing books to the kids at Sportscentral, congratulations, Jermaine, and so many of the other things. There's great stuff going on and we have to tell it more. We've got to get more people out there telling the story. Rotarians do it on a regular basis, but we have to celebrate what's right in the world instead of hearing what's wrong in the world. And if I could just finish with something from Mark Barrow, who was one of the city's most incredible servant leaders. He shared this with me, and it's something that I look at quite often. As a man and a woman walked among the poor and the weak and the vulnerable, they couldn't help but wonder aloud, how could this kind and loving God that everybody talks about see this suffering and do nothing about it? And after a long silence, they heard a voice, and it was the Lord, and he said, I did do something. I sent you. So I want to thank you all of the people who are serving today. You've been called to serve. It's truly a calling, and you've chosen to respond to that call. I'd like to say congratulations to everybody, and thank you for the recognition.
Oh boy, John, it's really clear hearing you speak why you were selected. Thank you very much and congratulations. Making a difference in the lives of thousands of homeless and disadvantaged people in the Edmonton area is our next recipient, selected by the Rotary Club of Edmonton Mayfield. Jeff Tetz is a businessman and the founder of Santa Yeg, providing clothing and feeding Edmonton's homeless population during the winter months. Since 2014, his group has delivered almost 21,000 meals to Edmonton's inner city. And when the pandemic curtailed meal preparation and delivery, his team gathered 22 $500 Visa gift cards and then took nominations through social media to award them to worthy recipients. All of this was accomplished with 100% volunteer efforts. As a businessman, Jeff is CEO of Results Canada with leadership roles in organizations like the Edmonton Oilers and Eskimos. He's also coached the Alberta Junior Hockey League and serves on the board of the Edmonton Executives Association. The Rotary Club of Edmonton Mayfield is pleased to recognize Jeff Tetz with their 2021 Integrity Award. Congratulations, Jeff.
Thank you very much, Leslie. And I want to start off by just expressing my gratitude to Lauren White and the rest of the membership from the Mayfield Rotary Club. The effort that Lauren, you went through to put my nomination through is a gesture I will never forget. I think that being seen and recognized by another human being is truly one of life's greatest gifts. This whole last year has been a real learning expedition, I think, for many of us, and I have become aware increasingly of the privilege that I have been fortunate to live my life with, and it's really something to start to accept and acknowledge that so many obstacles and barriers that many people face, I have not had to encounter in my life. And as I start to encounter and uncover more of those realizations, it's becoming even more clear that those who can must give back and do all we can to bridge the gap. The Delivering Compassion initiative through Santa YEG, the whole reason that it started was we just wanted to lend a helping hand, just to lighten the burden just a little bit. And we felt that by delivering compassion to people that are experiencing homeless, that even though it's a small gesture of delivering a meal that you made with your own hands with a small group of volunteers, that expression of kindness, love, and compassion between complete strangers from completely different backgrounds matters in some small way. And I'm under no illusions that this is going to solve some of the societal and systemic problems that we have. So many of those initiatives are meaningfully being dealt with by so many that are on the call tonight, but we're just trying to do our part and just trying to chip in. And I have been so lucky in my life that I have been surrounded by people that have just gone out of their way to be helpful, kind, and courteous to me. And those are the influences that have caused me to have the values and the view of the world that I have, and I'm so grateful for that. The other part that occurs to me in this last year is when I talk about kindness and compassion, I have to wonder if we've sort of lost our way a little bit when it comes to some of those higher level reasons for why we exist and what community is really all about. And I think the longevity of the pandemic has challenged our ideals, our belief systems, our philosophies, and even put stress on certain friendships potentially. And I'm a big believer that if we're to create communities that are going to sustainably change, that we have to make the desired behaviors the normal behaviors. And I certainly look forward to continuing that battle alongside everybody that is here tonight to try to create a situation and environment in our community where the desired behaviors are certainly the normal ones, or more and more people join in that fight to help deliver courage, boldness, equality, and compassion to everybody that we encounter. Thank you very much for tonight. This is an extreme honor.
Boy, Jeff, thank you so much for that message. You know, if it's to be, it begins with me. New to the Rotary Club family and this year's Integrity Awards, so new to both, is the Rotary Club of YEG Passport. It was just chartered in Edmonton 2 years ago. Their recipient is Isa Camara, a peace builder who seeks to create cross-cultural understanding. He's the founder and executive director of Sinkunea Community Development Organization, an Edmonton-based nonprofit that supports the settlement and integration of African immigrant children, youth, families in the community. Isa has extensive experience in local and international community development work that spans his native country, Sierra Leone, and Canada. As a servant community leader, he creates and promotes awareness about racism and discrimination, mentorship, civic engagement, cultural diversity, and youth leadership. He has spearheaded many community projects working with children and youth in Edmonton's immigrant community. From the early stages of the pandemic, Isa and his team worked with the community to procure and distribute culturally sensitive food with very little overhead. His authentic community development approach has helped many to heal from trauma and rebuild new lives in Edmonton. The Rotary Club of YEG Passport recognizes his work as a builder of goodwill and friendships consistent with Rotary's four-way test. And that's why they've selected Isa Camara as their first ever Integrity Award recipient. Congratulations, Isa.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Thank you. This is great. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to the members of the Rotary Club of YEG Passport. I know the word Sinkunea is hard to pronounce for some people, but Sinkunea is my hometown in Sierra Leone, West Africa. I want to say once more that I'm very grateful for this award, and I would like to say thank you to my team and all those people that are making it possible for us to do the things that we are doing right presently. Just a little bit of my journey, my story. When I moved to Canada 21 years ago from Sierra Leone, I came straight to Winnipeg. I was really confused. I didn't know what to do, where to go. But with the support of so many goodwill people, a lot of Canadians and fellow Africans, I was able to find my way. I went to the University of Manitoba, and then from there, I worked with different organizations in Winnipeg, and then later I moved to Edmonton. So what triggered this Sinkunea community organization was the fact that so many African immigrant youths were in detention in Winnipeg while I was attending school. And I found that very, very hurtful. So I thought to myself that I should do something to help this youth, navigate the system in a very appropriate manner. So that led to the formation of the Sinkunea Community Development Organization. It's all about helping people to find their fate in the community. So when I moved to Edmonton in 2006, I registered the organization with Alberta Corporate Registries. Since then, we have been supporting immigrant youth, immigrant families to settle successfully in the community. This work has been made possible with the support of many goodwill Canadians, Africans, Caribbeans. A lot of people have been making significant contribution to make this work possible for us. I want to say thank you to Shirley, who made this connection with the Rotary Club of YEG Passport. I am very grateful to the team for this award, and I want to say congratulations to all the awardees tonight. I hope to continue this work with the support of my team, with the support of the community. We want to make life better for many people as possible. Like I said, 21 years ago, I was confused when I came to Canada. Fast forward that to 2021, it's very amazing, to receive an award as one of the people that are doing selfless work in the community. This is great. I thank you very much to the YEG Passports Rotary Club and to all the supporters of the Syncunia organization. They are currently organizing a 50-50 raffle draw for our youth to support our youth, development, our youth mentorship program. So they are doing a great job supporting the Syncunia Development Organization. We are grateful. And I say thank you, God, for making it possible to be part of this group tonight. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you very much, Isa, for all the work you do as well. Well, we are thrilled to have 3 Rotaract clubs participate in the Integrity Awards this year for the very first time. Rotaract clubs are run by our community's youth aged 18 and older to exchange ideas with leaders in the community, develop leadership and professional skills, and have fun through service. We begin with the Strathcona County Rotaract Club and their recipient, Cassandra Tomas. Cassandra has a passion for running, which means that she goes through a lot of running shoes. But when those shoes were no longer suited for marathons, Cassandra didn't want to just throw them away, and that's how she became the sole founder of a Souls for Souls chapter here in Alberta. Souls for Souls distributes used shoes and clothing to those who need it most, whether it's poverty or disaster relief. Cassandra's project gained so much momentum in Strathcona County that they fully took over the collection, storage, and distribution of the project. And then Cassandra engaged Rotary to access more storage and more volunteers. So far, she's at 10,000 pairs of shoes and counting. Cassandra, a materials engineer, has organized employee volunteer events, put in her time, energy, and leadership into many local events and organizations, like the Terry Fox Run, Volunteer Strathcona, the Food Bank, and many, many more listed in your program. Using her exemplary leadership skills for good is why she is Strathcona County Rotaract Club's first Integrity Award recipient. Cassandra was not able to unfortunately attend this evening, but we have a short video from her.
Hello, I'm Cassandra Tomas, former member of the Rotaract Club of Strathcona County. This is Sprocket, who's going to be commenting whether I like it or not, so I figured he might as well be in the video too. The real purpose of this video, though, is to say thank you for this Integrity Award. Do you like it too? Oh no, he thinks it's weird looking. I'm super honored and flattered to have received it. Not gonna lie, I was surprised to receive it. I'm like, what have I done lately to deserve an Integrity Award? I've mostly been hiding in my house with everyone else, with this guy, and not been doing too much on the Rotary scene lately. Thankfully, someone wrote a really great write-up on me and things I have done and accomplished in my life. It's kind of nice to see that from a third-party perspective every once in a while. And yeah, it's just, I know there's a lot of really amazing people in Rotary, so it just meant a lot to me to be nominated for that kind of award. And I will definitely put it somewhere nice around here because it's a really snazzy award. Again, thank you very much. And hopefully we'll be able to meet in person again. I look forward to being involved in more random Rotary things. It seems that you never truly leave Rotary, even if you're not officially a member anymore. You keep getting involved in stuff. It's a lifestyle, right? So again, thank you, and I hope to see you all in person again soon.
Hey, that was Cassandra Tomas. Well, the next new Rotaract club to participate is MacEwan University. Their recipient is O'Brianna Snow. She's a tireless advocate for vulnerable students. As Vice President, Student Life of the Students Association of MacEwan University, O'Brianna led the creation of the Student Voice on Violence Elimination Committee, giving the student voice to campus gender-based violence. She has also served as an integral member of the University Students' Union offering leadership for Violence Elimination Committee and the MacEwan Anti-Violence Education Network. As her term with the Students Association comes to an end, the journalism major is turning her attention to Healthy Campus Alberta and Kids Help Phone. Her gift is seeing complex projects through from concept to completion, navigating a fast-paced institutional environment, and building and nurturing relationships, whether it's gender-based violence prevention, Indigenous advocacy, or LGBTQS+ rights advocacy. The MacEwan University Rotaract Club believes that O'Brianna Snow exemplifies Rotary's four-way test with work that is beneficial and fair to all concerned. Congratulations, O'Brianna. Oh,
Thank you very much. Well, that's Mi'kmaq for thank you all for inviting me here tonight and for including me as a recipient of this wonderful award. I would especially like to thank the members of the MacEwan Rotaract Club for nominating me and for the students of MacEwan University for inspiring me to try and make our campus a better and more accessible place for everyone. I also want to mention all those student leaders whose tireless work and advocacy helped to clear a path for people like me, as this work is so often deeply consuming and done with very little recognition. The work that Rotarians do across the world is really deeply in line with the values and beliefs that drove me toward advocacy. And it's really an honor to be here in the company of those who are receiving this award tonight, as well as past recipients. Working in any way towards a better and more equitable world is work that's never really finished, and sharing in community with folks who are doing that same work is by far one of the most rewarding aspects of engaging with community. I'd like to share a quote with you all by Michi-Sagik Nishnabek scholar, writer, and artist Leanne Batasmasak Simpson, which is as follows: "Strong communities are born out of individuals being their best selves." And that really resonates with me because I think that's so clear in the communities that I'm a part of, how deeply all individuals come to the plate, ready to be their most fulsome selves and to share that vulnerability with the folks in the community. So thank you all for continuously being your best selves and bringing that energy to your work, allowing me to be my best self, and for empowering others to find and speak their authentic truths. Again, Walaliak, thank you for allowing me to share in this with you all tonight. This has been an incredible honor.
Oh, wow. And thanks for so much for sharing that. I feel so positive about our future, hearing all these great stories. Our final club to present this evening is the Rotaract Club of Edmonton. Newell Anderson is a trailblazer in his field, an ambitious and passionate individual who works towards creating an inclusive and empowering environment through his cosmetic line. Newell and his family came to Canada as refugees from civil war. His experiences instilled in him a strong work ethic and a desire to make a meaningful impact in the communities around him. He started performing at the age of 5. By the time he was 16, he was living his truth by campaigning to bring awareness to the adversity faced by the LGBTQ2+ community in Edmonton. He also helped to plan Rotary's first engagement with the Edmonton Pride Festival. Newell has faced some pretty harsh adversity, even personal attacks, but his desire to see his community succeed and grow with dignity has never faltered. Last year, he founded Jewel Haas Cosmetics, a social purpose corporation. Its aim is the cosmetic empowerment of individuals, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, and sexual orientation. Through his savvy use of social media, he's reached tens of thousands of people worldwide. He believes that those who are privileged to do so must never shy away from speaking their truth in helping disadvantaged communities regardless of the personal risk to reputation. Gives me shivers. The Rotary Club of Edmonton is proud to honor Newell Anderson with this year's Integrity Award. Congratulations, Newell.
Thanks, Leslie, and hello to everyone. I'm so honored to be here receiving this award. I'd like to thank Neil and Jim and everyone on the host committee, as well as Kathy and the rest of the Rotary Club of Edmonton for the nomination. I'd like to thank my mom, who's here with me today. The originator of all the success I've had in life this far are the sacrifices that she's made for me to be me. All the things that she couldn't do for herself so that I could go to this musical theater camp or book that performance or enroll in this academic program. I never doubted how high my ceiling was because she made it so that I didn't have one. Today, in my mind, is really the exception because I found that on the day-to-day, you don't get an award for speaking up and telling your truth or doing what's right. Actually, I think my life would have been a lot easier if I were to just be a bystander to all the injustices and prejudices that I've seen in all the communities around me, whether that be in business or in academics or in my personal life. But I also know that that would be a disservice to those communities. And I want to end with a quote by Maggie Kunn that goes, "Stand before the people you fear and speak your truth, even if your voice shakes." And I would amend that to say, speak your truth, especially when your voice shakes, because that's when you know it really matters. Thank you again.
Wow, that's great. Thanks so much, Newell. And now you know why I love this Integrity Awards program. I always leave here feeling so much better than when I came. And so I guess in complete violation of the ground rules that I laid out at the beginning, let's turn on your microphone. And I see most of you have your cameras on. And join me in a round of applause for our 2021 Integrity Award recipients. What a great community.
That's so cool. Look how many
Oh, look, yay, you get to see each other. You get to see what we see. It's wonderful in here. I want to thank you. Already in our program, which you should have received, this beautiful program. And you'll also see past Integrity Award recipients listed in there as well, although it doesn't go back right to the beginning. So now I'm going to turn things over to Organizing Committee Co-Chair Neil Lang. He's the past president of the Rotary Club of Edmonton, to acknowledge some very important people. Neil.
Thanks, Leslie. 17 years?
Yeah.
You look younger every year. Holy mackerel, 17 years old. Holy mackerel. It's before you turn your mics off, and most mics are off already, I know. Please join me in thanking Leslie in such a terrific job that she's done in emceeing tonight's event. And also acknowledge in the room next to us, Rotarian Sheldon Finger and his team of the Infinite Event Services for providing the wonderful technology services. I know I could not do this in a Zoom call. I can barely do it with our own Rotary Club to make this evening virtual event possible.
Yes.
And in addition, I'd like to recognize fellow Rotarian Al Buchanan and the folks at Ilay Agencies for producing this wonderful awards brochure that Leslie showed earlier, and for printing the brochures to commemorate this event. Over the next year, if you really want a hard copy, get a hold of me and I can pass it out because I'm promoting next year. Many of you enjoyed the meal that we had. I had mine yesterday and this morning because tonight I didn't have time. I'd like to recognize Paul Doucette from the Sawmill and his team. That was a wonderful meal. The wine I'll get into later. I'd like to recognize Rotary actor Gino Jensen for his work on Cassandra's video. I thought it was amazing. And the Rotary Club of Edmonton team, along with Jim, myself, and President Brian, Kevin Keogh, Muriel Dunnigan, Christine Chorney, Sylvia Borechko, and Don Fargy helped put this together as the organizers, and we hopefully will be ready for it next year. Special mention to club team member Major Al Hoff, who gave the invocation today, and that was wonderful, right at 6 o'clock. We greatly benefited from his time and work with the Rotary Club of Edmonton, and Al and his wonderful wife, Karen, are moving their hometown to Regina. Sad, but he'll be around. And to co-lead the Salvation Army Waterston Center. Regina will be a better place. We wish them well. Please keep in touch. This event is special in that it involves a collaboration of 15 Rotary and Rotaract clubs. These awards could not be possible without them, especially the following key contacts. My apologies for mispronounced names. Stan Bissell from the Rotary Club of Edmonton White Avenue. Francis Yarborough and David Asp, I know they're on the line, from Rotary Club of Sherwood Park. Robert Nucio, longtime Integrity Award organizer from the Rotary Club of Nisku-Leduc. James Gonzalez from the Rotary Club of St. Albert, and Daryl Hollowaychuk from the Rotary Club of Edmonton Northeast. Jillian Lakeford and Fraser Bekowski from the Rotary Club of Edmonton Glenora. Terry Demers and Bruce Uditsky from the Rotary Club of Edmonton Sunrise. Ingrid Niche and David Weir from the Rotary Club of Edmonton West. Gord Shepard, Shelley Sabo from the Rotary Club of Yeg Passport. Jeanette Bancares from the Rotary Club of Edmonton Mayfield. Trina Plamondon from the Rotary Club of Edmonton Urban Spirits. Miles Dykes from the Rotary Club of MacEwan University. Daria Dzerzhinsky from the Rotary Club of Strathcona County. And Kath Debenham from the Rotaract Club of Edmonton. Oh, what a mouthful. And we should have a big cheers, shake your hands, clap if you wish. Finally, this is my big pitch. I've been watching the chat lines and I'm noticing that the thank yous you've been giving to each other. Would this be wonderful next year? We don't know if it could be virtual. Hopefully it's in person or a hybrid. So next year is the third and final year for the Rotary Club of Downtown Edmonton to host this event. Hopefully one of your clubs will be able to take this on in the future. I know some of you have done this before, so I'd like to get some new faces. Pass on the leadership to another Rotary Club in the Edmonton area or close to. That'll be okay. I look forward to chairing this event next year and working with the Capital Region Rotary Clubs to have another successful event. I'll be in charge of in the early fall to get the ball rolling for 2022. Thanks everyone for making this year a success. I can see your faces in front of me right now, and congratulations to the recipients. Oh, my heart was going. So, Leslie, it's yours.
Oh my gosh, poor me. I have to work with these guys. Thank you so much. Beautiful job. Thank you to Brian and Jim. You've been absolutely delightful to work with. I get to work with the most wonderful people for these awards, and I'm so grateful for that. It takes a large team to make this event a success. Before adjourning, I again want to thank our recipients for their contributions to making our community a better place in which to live. Congratulations to all of you. Yay! And this concludes this evening's event. Thank you so much for participating. I look forward to seeing you next year, hopefully in person. There should be a drum roll here. The video feed will stay live for a few more minutes, so you can stay if you like and chat informally. Thank you so much again. Good night, everyone.